Yantwaso, Yanko Emirates, Ebedro. Ya shase, pese mano.
You want it to tell me better. You want it to say,
"Oh, don't go there. Yanko Emirates.
Okay.
Na Arsenal for I ready 80. Almost on the cup final. With a Champions League trophy.
Again, the fans of English football are hopeful. Na dear name of me hopeful no. The Pope saga. In 1978, Pope everywhere. You read Nottingham Forest at the Champions League. No? In 2005, ye Babebo Liverpool ni similar. No? One of analysis and pundit again was about the Pope death. You read 3-0 in the first half. Liverpool back ebete winning on penalties. Inti honsu Pope will build. You send Manchester City and then man team your friend International Milan. Pope say try na ni share die. E honsu na ya talk build. Say you real no na team your friend Manchester City. Asa the Champions League ni build. We are in 2025 and chair and a Pope a child and share nine. So the English fans are hopeful. Say, our representative, our Champions League in this time, our friend Arsenal. This is the right time for Arsenal to claim the title. Omobo against Paris Saint-Germain. Now another ominous follow Arsenal and they say, referee obedina game me Miami uncle Slavko Vincic. The first game when a battle between PSG and Arsenal, was Emirates no, only papa no say didn't fin. Only the UEFA Champions League final last year between Dortmund and Real Madrid. Only didn't fin. Arsenal share by 2-0. The issue about a new team that winning or Munich in the can't trim from 78, 1996, 1997 Dortmund, 2012 Chelsea. But this time, it is not for Arsenal alone. It is for Arsenal and PSG because only the two teams are more Champions League now. Inter Milan aje, Barcelona aje. So the new teams are only team in the two teams are only lose to our final. Arsenal in 2006 and PSG in 2019-2020 in Portugal against Bayern Munich. Game ebe Barcelona. So also for Paris Saint-Germain, only eba away na. General, this season in the Champions League. Out of the 7 games, on my boy away no, on my winning me and no more lose 4. The Chinese say, PSG and who they were away no ever fem. Now the omo visit to England the Bermudia. Omo ba Emirates Stadium be concede 2 goals. Omo call Anfield ko concede 1 goal. And omo call Villa Park ko concede 3 goals. And out of the 3 games played in England this season, PSG conceded 6 goals. And tiene, a Juma Bakwa Luis Enrique Martinez Lucho, is to make sure that the defense no best ye. Ashraf Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, William Pacho, and then Marcos Marquinhos Correa. The back 4, it was so ye. They should be compact. It was so more close. Enti sa omo pese omo ko mo nim de honey baby e wo se coach no ye adwuma so far Arsenal omo bo mo so de said Arsenal 6 games at home draw back pen omo boy na draw no omo boy and was a game against PSV and omo no ma qualify wi e na omo timi ball draw enti Arsenal so ho odin wo home ba and they beating this PSG team at home omo se Real Madrid 3-0 at home. That brings different vibe and confidence to Mikel Arteta and then Emrantino ahead of the game against Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal your team almost goals. PSG your team almost goals. But after 2 goals against Villa, and almost better now be conceded 3 goals. Intene, so mo person obo call omo anima. Defense no e was so omo yiri. Now on the football play. So who Arsenal team now? Duria Timbers Ofa obi etise Abrante fan Lewis Kelly. Ono na abesesa bibia on the left side of Arsenal. Na Champions League ne se fawa. Ball no nya de kra wotimi bom obi hu se o ya de. So look at Jacob Quavo in the last 2 games against Madrid. Obeka a top class centre back be and Ebo Arsenal alongside William Saliba. Obianim Saliba, how solid are you at the back? But in Nsanya commit errors. But Onya a problem because he's going to deal with pace. And you be now because Bradley Bakula, Kvaratskhelia, and then Dembele will lead the line with Desire Doué ebe free bench aba. Into Arsenal defense no Sejo on one bedjuma. Even the goal that they considered against Real Madrid, it was a gift from Abrante friend William Saliba and on the born chair Vinicius Junior and Bob on the chair. The absence of Thomas Partey. Arsenal ebe missing key man.
Yeah.
But no problem baby because if the coach decide not to go in for Abrante friend Jorginho, Sejo Declan Rice bet me about Partey position. Odegaard bet me about as number 8. Miguel Merino can play as number 10 or within the triangle in midfield. Odegaard be born a 10 no. Miguel Merino 8 in our boss the Real Sociedad or the Abrante friend Zubimendi. Or no more pushing on them Manuela go still time sometimes to pushing a 10. And Arsenal for using at force 9. It is the only thing I will be losing in midfield is the physicality of Thomas Partey. Because Declan Rice is energetic. Or more as a lone pivot to that. Because they be obo behind someone. Thomas Susek and other players within the West Ham United team. Kamana Maknobo Mwohodo. Inti ene. Also benya a juma on film because 3 midfield for Paris Saint-Germain. Eye guys are omukra ball omuhu ball no je from nsema obebre. So it is not going to be Federico Valverde, Jude Bellingham. Beje ball ni muntentem. Vintia circulate. He release the ball na. Ubon se ball no kura che. Inti na see anything. John Nevers the same story. Now Fabien Ruiz a progressive amamo. He comes in with a different profile as compared to the two. Inti Odegaard and so star ni similar. Oje ball no hold it, don't give it away. But Emmanuel Nduru 18 echi. Inti adwuma na abekwa akoye Nuno Mendes and then Ashraf Hakimi because Obianim said the strength of Arsenal ebeba begina the width play. Inti hwesaka na be share goal no Bernabeu. Hwe ba bia Gabriel Martinelli free ba be share goal no. Inti uyi set pieces na Declan Rice bo share ye ni free ho a. Goal na Miguel Merino share it came from the left and obebo bo no share. If you want to beat Arsenal, it is not their midfield. Because for the midfield, PSG will what it takes to mark Arsenal anywhere. But how do you stop the weight play? How do you stop Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli from the wins? Leandro Trossard is very skillful. So many in your ball be back because also Genoa or quick movement and excellent transitional play. Into a honey baby, and what's a PSG more money echo. And you know, a key the 2 goalkeepers. First leg against Madrid at home, David Ryan is able to manage now. Aston Villa against PSG at the Villa Park, it was Gigi Donnarumma. You always have to be at the level of Casillas and Buffon if you want to progress at this level. Because boss will be bounce. Open and be creative chances. The game is just about fine margins. Into your honey area, sir. And what's it 2 teams now more money here? Kvaratskhelia against Julian Timber. Timber winning against Vinny. Is he going to win against Kvaratskhelia today? Luis Kelly won it against Rodrigo Guez. Won it against Brahim Diaz. Obetimi Bakola ne. Dembele is only going to deal with the space between Jacob Quavo and then William Saliba. But Arsenal should be careful, especially some more attacking with numbers now on issue Omechia. PSG has a very efficient and a pacey attack. But as I said, Arsenal should go to fee, and at the Emirates, they still remain unbeatable. Referee no oba Benjamin the first time, you know, on Sutimi Momo Rene. Omuni PSG bo bio no, Omutimi sa win until everything echo Edima Bubu kwa friend Arsenal. Football is an interesting game. Sometimes, and you want to see some will be a referee bibia. That is the position of Arsenal now. There was a PSG and they say in the second leg at the Parc des Princes, Omubebo game pa. Until yes, you know, you close the spaces. Now why you watertight in your back line because Arsenal will score goals. Sergio, Emirates may call Arsenal win 2-1 win for Arsenal at the Emirates.
Wow. Hey, correct score.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Please tell Andy we, the supporters of Arsenal, are begging him. He shouldn't disvim us today in the name of God. Partey is not playing any impact on the team. Richard, Kessben, Accra, morning show producer. Richard, Kessben, Accra. Morning show producer. Also, don't disvim us. Meaning the Okanya, Rich. They are not.
Or send it before me, Bekasa.
Oh, okay.
Because them here, you know.
Okay.
Pope analysis am here if you Arsenal.
Okay.
History about Munich if you Arsenal. Referee now we didn't move the match no. The match obedi we Emirates the last time it was PSG against Arsenal. On one the Arsenal we need 2-0. Arsenal and PSG ball Emirates almost we need 2-0. And you know Arsenal have not lost at home in the Champions League this season.
Okay.
6 games so we win 5 draw 1 against PSG and over. In team make off.
Analysis na no if you Arsenal.
TB on the buy.
Maybe before. So because say we feel say before from here or Fabra. Na Rich yenhwe na yenka emfa amount. Emeka do every quarter so Arsenal are the best transition controllers, the best rest defense in the world. That doesn't mean that you cannot score, but that they are usually the hardest to score against in such situations. The question is if PSG can limit Arsenal when they have the ball. Okay, all right, okay. And there also the Abba and a big game. Meaning will be a Mrs. game way. Do you think PSG can outcome and dominate Arsenal midfield? Which formation do you think they will opt for this evening? And do you think Arsenal can also stand the heat of the PSG up front without conceding? Without their DM shield party? Okay, let your members constructively analyze it for me and who can be the best option to replace Partey as well. Official Edwifia Simon and so Abeka program no and Anopay. Arsenal will score either 3 goals or 2 goals or 4 goals against PSG. PSG can score a goal tonight. Fila Edwifri Elembele and Abreye. 7 p.m. Arsenal PSG Emirates. Awal,
one thing is PSG have been team more disciplined English teams this season because on their way Liverpool and Aston Villa. The next one is Arsenal. And then Mobeshia in the first leg. No, quickly a game of quick transition. Team I bet me the transitions no right no. PSG man most of them want to hold on to the ball, especially Vitinha, Joao Neves, and of course Fabian Ruiz, the Spanish midfielder. But how Bradley Barcola and Dembele very keen today's late. Sergio, very key. Dembele to me back to the party here. Sergio, trust me, PSG might get a very good result.
Okay.
And PSG, you're so close. Last season, this stage, Yana Dortmund, you are moving.
All right.
Ubekai some seasons ago, Man City, you are moving at this stage. So they came so close. Being the final 5 years ago in that game they lost against Bayern Munich. This one also provides them with a huge opportunity, especially Almonia Renaissance. And our coach Luis Enrique to me about new modding. But Sergio, trust me, I see Arsenal winning tonight's game. Ebia, not too much of Ebia advantage scholar bones Ebia Gab no bewa. A bad gamer, you be goose, but Arsenal are likely to win the game tonight.
All right. I think the Everton be a minimum transfer news kakra bi aka ho na fi ya de daka no aye local stories. Thank you so much. Okay. I always do that when I was there, Sergio. You remember, the boys don't have that bold heart to do that. Yeah, Mohammed Ekazim. Then he has a place, we have one more hyper game. Also, Okotoko. Najuma no ya no yes one pa. Na guys no need them. I want to be kasa.
More the one of them.
A block cancer. So me kai boys ni because say
what disrespect it.
No, say I am one wants to be kasa.
Yeah.
Yes, Kotoko place. So abroad me be na no can say na e shock as man go iko cover brain.
No wabo African who strikers akesia. Na you know I players how many of them has even tasted African competition.
Dana obedru Ghana hana na kotoko ne haso fo kebo. Dana obe Orlando airport no kofa no. Don't man be share ball bi. Chinchin on man mo ball bi. Adan ya na we no.
Democracy Cup.
Democracy Cup no. Yes. Dana o chinchin so be share jersey na ball. Na we je o. Te say abroad there. All right. Dear Baba, local source no Edruwa. Good morning, please. Who does the scouting for Kumasi Asante Kotoko? For about 5 years now, anytime I watch Asante Kotoko play against other GPL teams, I realize most of our players look smallish compared with the other teams, and they bully them easily. Eric Pepra and anyway, Abaminim, some more observers are now. Asante Kotoko players look smallish.
You know, Kotoko that has always been Kotoko. A teamer, on flexible football, they don't go in for players with so much height. Jordan to say, me for the teacher about no say Jordan to say, Akufu to say, Max said they know to say,
Civil
Drone to say. Very sweet, very intelligent, quick movement. Before Umra no Aquafomo,
Francisco
Fimo.
Yes.
It's you know, well you can get 1 or 2 be it more height was okay, but you know Michael Asante Gwanoa. No one to be 1 or 2. Inti coaches in the was my ball ni ye Juma. Na players na also need the confidence to play. You know, those players no more confidence. Jordan mu control mba kura timi mu bi abon nse mo park. Hwese bodu ketekete no bubu ankofo mu sa. They always ketekete no dem grofo ko yakofo.
Jordan control 3-1.
Yes. It is coaches in the confidence of the boys no. Any boys na so be sua de say de be si biansi. Me yes so abroad here okay obi kunkuro no kan no obi kura wa chire kwa no na nya adwen. But o se maka. And oba onya the chance to play for Kotoko no. You know obi anso hu say na ndẹ kasa na ball no nimbo nti ni mienu serio.
Okay, Andy should lower his expectation about this PSG team. I don't know anything special about them. Okay, Arsenal will crucify PSG tonight. More than 3 goals. Isel. And anyway, if we were
immigration officer.
Isel.
It's a unti sports nana.
It's a office. We just so monitor.
Yeah, unti sports. Because there be a message or the ba fam hono. Enya dey
be send the crowds and we man pay.
Immigration officer.
As my can home message na dey abanese. Because I on train.
Zao.
Try power.
Okay.
Okay, it's the end. Was any transfers in the Caribbean in Africa.
You know, Liverpool and almost say almost tusika gum. Or somewhere ipa. And the team should watch out for them because last season almost spent this so much. Players na ohona openia a friend and slot buy na before no they abeye adwuma. And going forward, so pese ultimate on sato other Premier League side next way it drew baby or so some kakra. So team ne be predictable. So you do baby obi etimi show bi. E ho na ba be do Pep de na afi na untimi nsisa ne nsa no bi. But next season watch out for Pep Guardiola. Into bomb of one team at this season said you discipline akese no. Manchester City, Man United, obi akojene de. Chelsea the one team sorry ya team no di etigina ya boy. Into teams na ni wo ho. So bekọ akọpe players e wo bomb of. Into Liverpool for Proma Brand here, your friend Milos Kaskes. For me, he's the best left back in the Premier League this season. Do you know Unimpo Bruta? Liverpool for person just make a squine, no Mkofaneba. And Omaka said, in as much as they won the Premier League this season, Omunya impressed with, and the Robertson and Omunimo. What Bobo na and you know, Edia Nina and a poor bem, born wa watch it, wa boa one, they feel that he will be here come teaching Kakra. Into almost share Milos Casques. Again, almost say shanty on Semenyo. Diego Jota any Luis Dia Saudi for Naba. Some person will discover for me no call. Into almost say Diego Jota called here and then on back of Alexander Isak from Newcastle United. Nasa Branti are a friend Luis Dia and so called there. Cody Gapo, but they will still need another player or Nico Di Gapo ever compete. And almost share there. they feel the performance of Ante Nsomenyo this season, the 9 goals scored in the Premier League, you know. Any adwuma wa born in Genoa. Semenyo ball wa born this season, ye mu bi kura na ebro enti ase so Genoa. Ball no baby left, right, center, shooting. Bibia ade bia wo hia from a forward, pace, strength, power, aggression. Bibia odema. And enyewa so how better say Man United de pen, oh how better Chelsea pen, oh how better Liverpool pen. And Liverpool feel that in the absence of Luis Diaz, Omuja Branty, Omukofa Branty ya, or Ba Niema Bekuyi Ediamon. Dvito Osimhen, and an encroft on the above on 10 say 3 teams. On one Casapa, the Nakuman Kobenya tells you no pay. But would you didn't combat enough for one says a Chelsea ama, or be consider Arsenal and then or be consider Man United. And Debbie Awa can imagine Saka form, Martinelli form with Osimhen as number 9. Fireworks, you know. Fireworks now be no anymore. All things being equal, football there, BBA Timisi. Now we be our banner the performance and Koyi. But Osimhen in Italy, Osimhen in him or court Turkey. Now you're fit, now Martinelli you're fit, now Saka you're fit, no dinner top, fireworks all over. Into your sister Chelsea for now, ma, because they do. More team they all have play be better some Chelsea for open and no we say 34 no o mo person me am do table team and say if no person mo ko
cash no de ko to mo mo na ne bo so de
Matisse almost almost 5 million no e de akofa Jadon Sancho na o mo de Sancho akọ Dortmund no makofa Jimmy Gaites Chelsea will wingers be brepi e de no mo de ye Joe Mendes saw the Rafael Chelsea for. And now what's all more Dumrika kitty. Now you don't come back of Rafael. To Rafael the left. Now we see men topper. Now I permit for that back. Now I feel what the Kopama call right. You are good to go. Now I percent tabaks. And almost almost pay dear Hansen. But I feel a more experienced center back would be key because you know Levi Cowell the Hansen born now about Obama of no be a cast or yard and Levi Cowell will be Brighton. For Fana Bobby Bonnier or Leicester City. But on bar Chelsea, on Chelsea, that fresh air, that assurance and stability in their defense. It's again, Chelsea will need that centre back. Man United, they said you, and you've been encountered on some players. They will need a midfielder. Matthias Kuna, the honor Brighton, and near the Man United for Babe Fano. The Postco say, a yana player be a co United, I don't say through because player be a United and not the board or the Abacha Revenge. Almost free Okoya, you see Anthony performing, you see Rashford performing, you see Scott McTominay, Benyan breakthrough in the Syria. Into a honey baby or more. Do you know me man who see no Rudiger? Okay. And when I become Rudiger, someone has said, and name out to Real Madrid this season, Ancelotti, any Madrid, into measurement no a different. The barometer no a different. Into nobody cares about injuries. But so Rudiger, born and I don't know about said you know abandoning and I mean no. Yeah. No strikers. Yes. But Madrid fans they be time Ancelotti uniform no monti ase. Ya madam for you. O ti Ancelotti difficulty no monti ase. But so nim Rudiger. E wo so hu say Rudiger a fit Rudiger. Sabo na Ferran Torres be fine on pene. Nti no ntime mo. And now you know akwa surgery he'll be out for 4 weeks. And Madrid hope say omo be go in for William Saliba as center back. And Kerm and Ancelotti okay, because
that's no
Saliba there. Oh, so I'm almost at into Ombina for.
So, okay.
When I said,
give a pray.
Give a pray, and I quit what bought said you Ramos and Azan Babaki. It's, you know, ambition and French players and Madrid. Oh, said your Umbeko. Chomen in the Comavinga, Omnia France, one cases in Baby and Combi Job. It's that connection is there. On my build that water dada. Into Saliba, say Madrid decided to spend the year. Obviously, he will choose to go to Madrid because they will need a centre back. Into Rudiger, you know, acquire surgery and he will be out. Madrid for now, Carlo Ancelotti is leaving. Almost for the first time, we dear because he's their greatest coach. Yeah. Or trophy chair coach is a big coach. Obey Juma. And you know, he's the only coach to win the Champions League with one super sub. Utimi lusu ne back four nyina still I was already bibi nti Javi Alonso so obeba but Santiago Solari should be in place for the FIFA Club World Cup before Javi Alonso aba after the FIFA Club World Cup.
I'll be glad if you one day invite me to the studio as a boy Brekum. Okay, I'm ready so be invite you. Now also what studio ha. What has not happened in football before? Germany defeated almighty Brazil 7-1 at their own backyard. Ghana had beaten Nigeria 7-0 before. My question is, do you think Brazil is thinking and planning to do same or revenge that score line against Germany? If it happens, fine. If not, that is history and mathematics, not geography. Where there were once 5 continents, but now we have more than that. Kofi Toronto in the Weaba. Also, one of the country I say, as I take 4-0 score line. I say Chinchina. All supporters need to say, I saw Mukona, Omoko revenge. Why? Also, on Tiasi, almighty friends Brazil, Germany said, at their own backyard, 7. Another score line. A woman trim said Tintin as Omoko 7, Libya, and Omoko 8. We are there see a history.
No, but you know, as if Kotoko fans and them cocas on Quaco.
Kotoko fans. Are they a woman trim says, I 4-0 on the
Yes. And you know what is wrong with that?
Also, the intensity.
Zabradel for you. Time Barcelona share Real 5.
How the show teams will be actual 4. They would also no parts of 1 day was 5.
Because who are 4? You know, one you're going to need.
Mr. Jumbo.
Yes, Braco.
Yes, sir.
No, okay, crap for the maintenance. You
Toronto Kofi.
And the Kofi want to catch us in Brazil for almost Germany, almost 7. One a casa.
Also, new Mutrim.
One a casa. Walk over Brazil for 2 months. Adia, ye walk up at the Biomukofaba. Omo organize World Cup show 7. Adeba kwa show money sadiano. With the least opportunity, Brazil will grab say omo revenge 7 years.
I said Germany.
Yes.
8. And now 7.
So very possible they will do it.
Wow.
Hey, football rivalry. Some man win a football rivalry. Watch them do us, smash or do us. How many times have you beaten me? How many times have I beaten you? And by huge margins, a record, a dent on you. Until ya also been down Sabaton no. Usubenya also be say you betting the Bewuru no. For the fans.
Wow.
For the fans. I'm surprised he's saying that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm surprised he's saying that. Between Ghana and Nigeria, anytime be any who be no be or opposition on kono do huru. Between Kotoko and Heart, opposition no so do huru no. To no show for do huru, office onya na. Onya 6 and we shall no for huru.
But suffer the visit in Sidana we are sabere.
A bit messy. I didn't see that.
DM Combra. Yeah, but the country are suffer cast as
I didn't see.
Suffer the no hoko.
Oh, you know. In the history of
Brazil,
Black president.
Tell me what you are. In the history of Brazilian football, and you do not see
yeah.
Losing the World Cup final to Uruguay, Abrana World Cup and actually Diego Zomonaje. And no man, Marcel Babusa co-grant interview said Brazil, that time no year bonny and do 30 years. But no more did not to Musa to a World Cup game in USA 94 or Costa players no more permanent so a bad luck. Because only goalkeeper born the finance as say. The next one is the Germany 7-1. It is they want one day they will hope to revenge that.
I see.
Because of fans no on much say on so much has but still I almost have a jump for now. So on so much has one of the last time I check. But still I need enough for them. Why? Because some person want to for. This is a game next year.
Well,
but Sergio Niana and the Ekan, Oka Maracanazo, Nioka, the Minerazo, the 2-1 loss against Uruguay and the 7-1. Germany and Casana Brazil to me move. So Sergio, it was even rather the Germany one that is a revenge. Or more can you now boom no ashom. Because Sergio, even before that, they defeated them over Japan, Korea. They met in FIFA Confederations Cup in 2005. As a show. Bought some couple of friendlies at Shomo. So Sergio, it was even Germany rather than Homo revenge. Okay. But Sergio, Germany can in now boom and almost 7-1. Okay. That day a Estadio Mineirão in the city of Belo Horizonte. No. And Sergio, history just said before that loss, not the last time Brazil lost that stadium no was way back 1971. So Germany for no be good money mass. No money say World Cup no mu hosti adi. But unfortunately, Lema Prano in that game against Colombia, Zuniga Prano said, that was what had a telling effect on the on the Brazilian squad. And unfortunately, they lost against Brazil. And they beat Brazil by 7-1. So, I did that Brazil for team power, money opportunity. So, Joe Betiomoka. All right. Who that game, look, I said, you first half, no banner, not Brazil opportunity to equalize.
Okay.
Brazil were opportunity to equalize. They had some clear-cut opportunities, but unfortunately, German for no Emma Mokodai.
Not just the way free tema and about what's happening to Chelsea crowd. The managers don't know good players crowd. Osimhen is a player Chelsea needs. Why are they doing that? This coach is not Chelsea's standard crowd. Not just the way free tema and abre oti kre.
Osimhen to say on Druba level, but to say Druba me can't hold him physique. To say them Babamu, only Chelsea players. But what I say?
Yeah.
Chelsea recently, you say Sana, oh no, back when they say Viali,
Gianluca Vialli.
Italy, you know. Would they show more Yana, Omo Thomas Chelsea, Omo successful. Omo more dear Mujina anymore. Oh no, Okofa Gente for the bar, Omo so I think Chelsea, you know, almost center forward for now.
Alright.
Tiano Mpa this for Osimhen is cut for Chelsea. The mbeti my be a fan of Monya Mfa.
Oh. And the history way there Emfa. The season is for Barcelona. The last time PSG visited England was against Liverpool. Arsenal team with that party forget. Spain Boga Wadamfu.
Also the last time Arsenal
PSG visited England was against Liverpool.
Normally Arsenal Villa more now.
Yeah, boy.
Emma Villa show 3-2. That wasn't the last time.
In Spain, in them said their own throw, baby say young kind of.
Now also can history as
Spain.
Or can history as
Spain, in own time throw.
They can't teach him who said Pope will be an English team, Premier League, Champions League. Until call for Arsenal. And again, the new team bounce. When you know more about Champions League, you're born will be a new team legend. Until it goes for the Arsenal PSG. And I'm sorry because the referee now D Martin and then the last time on one said the PSG Arsenal won. And it's maybe our history.
All right, man.